This is the Nomadic Traveler Podcast. Welcome to Nomadic Traveler Podcast. I am your host, Jason, and our lovely and wonderful co-host is here, as always, Miss Nicole Potter.
What's up, guys?
We got a wonderful show for you today. We got a nice guy named Saqib Naveed. For some reason, saying Saqib's name makes us both smile and giggle a little bit.
I think it's because I said it.
Mainly Nicole.
Mainly because I said it wrong a million times before the show.
We said it wrong a million times before the show, during the show, around the show.
Jason's doing really good, though.
I'm doing much better now.
But I'm so excited for you guys to learn about all the amazing things he has to say.
Yeah, he talks to us about couch surfing, and he talks to us about couch surfing etiquette.
Yes.
Things that you should do so that you are properly honoring your host, I guess. Would be a good word for it.
Yeah, and like how to build your profile in order to be a couch surfer.
How to build your profile so you can be a professional couch surfer. Have couches to surf all over the world.
For sure. And like just how exciting it can be that this is an option for people who are single.
And we learned a little bit about Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So,
he also gives us a few other apps too that are
he
very
gives us some
helpful.
apps that are really cool. Yeah. What else did he do?
You guys are gonna love it.
There's something else I wanted to bring up. What was it? Oh, one thing I did want to mention to you guys is make sure you stay tuned for the whole entire show, because at the end we do some shout outs to new followers. So you may have been mentioned at the end of the show. But you got to listen to the whole thing, and don't be cheating and going to the end. Don't be doing that.
Yeah, you want to hear your name read out loud. It's going to be awesome. And I think that's going to be an ongoing thing, so stay tuned.
So we're thinking about doing that from now on. But only if you follow us, and you have to follow us on our Podbean app.
Yeah. Or send us a Facebook message.
Or send us a email. If you get a hold of us one way or another, we're doing shout outs, so we'll likely shout your name out during the show.
Yeah, because we love you.
And as always, if you know people that would be good candidates for the show, please send us a message at nomadictravelerpodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's all we got for right now. You want to start? Want to get the show started? Or
let's go.
Did you want to giggle some more?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
You guys will listen to that later.
Okay. Yeah, stay tuned to hear Nicole sound like a hyena at the very end of the show. It's pretty amusing.
It's classy.
Okay, here we go. All right, we'd like to welcome Saqib to the show. I think I said it wrong.
Delete.
You want me to try it again? I can try it again.
Okay.
Yeah, we can roll with it.
No, I'll say you said it right. So.
Yes. Well, welcome.
Welcome to the show. Where are you at today?
I'm in Pakistan.
You're in Pakistan? Okay.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what time of the day is it there in Pakistan where you're at?
Oh, it's 6:30 a.m. in the morning.
Super in the morning, huh?
Nice. Yes. So he was able to get up early for us,
yes,
especially for your show. So you guys are going to get some good information today.
It's tough when we have people on the other side of the globe, because we have to somehow sync up with everybody, and it's hard because they're sleeping and we're awake and vice versa. So we appreciate you getting up early for us, man.
Yes.
That is perfectly fine. I mean, I would love to be a part of this podcast, and you know my excitement for this podcast, you know.
That's awesome.
Waking up is not a big issue.
We're equally excited to have you. So,
thank you.
Tell us a little bit about you, and what's your deal? What do you like to do for travel?
Well, I'm an IT consultant, basically.
Okay.
And so, as you can figure that, I've done software development as part of my studies. And so I'm one of those lucky people who got a chance to travel via official assignment. So my first trip that I went to Malaysia and followed by another trip to Vietnam, they were both based on official assignments. Nice. And that's where I got the knack for traveling. So that's where I started my own solo traveling.
Very nice.
That's how
Very cool. So did you go into that career with that in mind that you might be able to travel, or was it just happened
Happy
to be a
coincidence,
thing?
yeah.
It was a coincidence. I mean, I never thought I would develop the knack for traveling uh, by those first trips. I mean, I never knew I had this love for traveling, which I
Yeah.
figured when I actually went to another country for the first time.
Nice. Does your family like travel a lot, or they kind of stay local where they
Uh,
are?
oh, they don't. They don't
No.
actually, and that's why um, I had not traveled until the first opportunity came to me from my official assignment.
Wow.
So yeah,
Do you ever try to talk your friends into going with you?
I prefer to go solo
Okay.
and then have some friend that I make in another country.
Mm.
Because one of the problems that I see with bringing someone from your country is because I generally find people in my country are very lazy. And so I don't want to go there
Same.
and we're going to miss out on a few things because the other person wants to wake up late. I don't want
Mm.
that. And so I tend to make friends in another country before I actually land there and to figure out motivated people there. And so, yeah,
So you can
to
have
link up with them and make plans for them.
like make the best of your time while you're there. I'm kind of like
Yep.
that too. Hate going on vacation with
Yeah.
people who sleep in generally, but then like lately, it depends if it's like a beach vacation, but if it's like a different country or somewhere I've never been and there's a lot to explore,
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep
Yeah.
in all day,
Yeah.
but I do like to sleep.
So
So,
how do you make friends ahead of time then? What's your tip for that?
Well, there are lots of ways you can make friends before you actually have landed there. One of them is you can join different communities on Facebook. So, for example, let's say I'm going to Vietnam, so I'm going to search for Vietnam communities on Facebook. I'm going to add myself into those groups and talk to different people, tell them my plan, or ask them what do they have good in their country, or if I have specifically targeted some places to visit, then I'm going to ask them questions. And people are more than, they always help. And then there are different kinds of applications that I use. One of them that I use a lot is couchsurfing.
Couch
So,
surfing.
couch,
Nice. Is it
yeah,
couchsurfing.com? Is that right?
yeah,
Okay.
that is the one. And it's a very beautiful idea in that there's a concept of hosts and travelers.
Okay.
So I make my profile and I say that if you come to my country, I'm going to offer you a place for accommodation and I'm going to offer you bread and butter. It doesn't have to be a fancy place to offer your lodging, or it doesn't have to be very expensive food that you have to offer to the guests, but it's just that you're just saying that I'm providing you a place for accommodation for free. And I'm also going to offer you bread and butter. And so you don't have to really think about spending your money on lodging and food. And in in return, what I may be expecting of you is that, let's say, I want to learn about your country. So if you're coming from the States to my country, maybe I want to know about your country, or maybe I want to learn your language, or maybe I want to learn some skill set from you, or it's just that maybe I'm getting bored and I just want to hang around with someone, or I already have a plan that I have for my local city, but I just wanted a company for me. And so while you are coming, I'm going to offer you an incentive that hey, you can stay here for free and I can offer you food and we can hang around. Yeah, so that's
Nice.
the concept of couchsurfing.
I like that.
that's really cool. I didn't realize that you also offer them food. So would it be like you would just make your own meal that you would normally have and then just make extra and then they get to experience the food from that?
Or do you literally mean bread and butter?
Right.
Uh, so, like I said, it could be anything. So, however, listen, this is a win-win situation for the traveler, because even if it gets an expensive kind of food, or even if it gets a normal kind of food, it's still free food for him.
Gotcha.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it doesn't really
So
matter.
again, there is no compulsion on what kind of food or what kind of accommodation you have to provide. It's just that you have to provide them shelter and you have to provide them food. And again, no compulsion. You can ask your guests that they can work for their food arrange for the food themselves. But generally, I have never seen anyone who would say that I'm just going to offer you shelter and you better arrange your food for yourself. It doesn't happen that way.
Yeah,
People are
yeah,
courteous.
yeah,
I'm just thinking that'd be a really cool way to also try local foods and like
yeah.
experience and dive into that culture even deeper if you're gonna have that their food that they would, normally eat or
Yeah.
whatever. I don't know what we would make in
Exactly.
America though. Like burgers?
Burgers and fries, grilled cheese.
We'll stop at the McDonald's? I don't know.
And one of the cool things that happens in couchsurfing is that I have met a few friends that I called from, let's say, Belgium. They came over to my place from Belgium, and they had their own specialty of food, and they knew how to cook. So when I was cooking some food for them, which was my specialty, uh, uh, and they said, "Can we help you with something that we have to offer from our country?" And I said, sure, go ahead. And so they just asked me that, do you have this ingredient and that ingredient? I said, I don't have at the moment, but I can certainly arrange. And then they made a specialty out of it. I just don't remember the name of the dish that they made, but it was, I wouldn't say very tasty, but still something different,
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
unique, right? That's cool too. Yeah, they
That's
can
very
cook
cool.
unique.
for you.
I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
That's really cool. Can you tell us a little bit like about your very first experience? Because I know like once you get into it, it just seems natural. But like, what was your first couch surfing experience like? Like when you first went and stayed
Yeah.
with someone?
What could somebody expect if they were brand new to the app?
Mm, okay. So I'm going to say to my friends here that initially, when you join this application, you don't have any references that anyone has given you because you're new. And so it's kind of difficult to build your trust with people. But once you start going, uh, and you start building up references from people, good notes from people, that's where it becomes very easy for you to get the different to request different hosts, or even the host may themselves offer themselves once they see your schedule that you are coming to their country at a particular time. But anyways, coming back to my first experience again. The build-up was because I wanted to say I did not have any references. There was this courteous lady. She offered me uh, a place to stay. But the good thing was that I did not request her for a stay. I just said let's meet up, because you can also use couchsurfing for meetups.
Okay.
You
Oh,
can say I already have my accommodation sorted out, but I have some free time or I want to explore this place, and so you search for people in that locality if there is anyone who would like to meet up. So my first um, meetup was where I did not need any accommodation. I just went, and so that is a very nice way to build your trust and get a good
Mm,
reference, because you're not invading privacy of someone. So you're not saying that I want to stay at your place, but let's just meet up. And in the process, you're going to get a good reference. Also, you can send that person a good reference. And so
mm.
that's how you can start your story. So again, yeah.
well, so that's what I was going to say. So you guys can actually leave each other references then. So there's a way through the app. I've not seen the app myself. So there's a way through the app that you can actually leave a reference for somebody else, and you can request that they maybe leave one for you, since you guys had a good interaction.
Yeah. So if you just met the other person for a link up and not you're not going to stay at that person, then it's not mandatory on you to leave a reference. But if some person via app offers you their place for accommodation, then the app enforces on you that you better leave a reference once that time period elapses. So
Nice.
it wouldn't let you navigate through the app unless you leave a reference, and it's considered that you have to leave an honest reference,
Mm.
whether good or bad. You have to leave one.
Very cool.
Have you ever gotten any bad references?
Thankfully, no.
That's awesome. So like,
One bad reference can ruin your reputation. So,
oh.
I bet.
thankfully, up till now, I haven't. Yeah.
So, like, how long did you guys talk or meet up before you stayed with her? And then, like, how was that experience? How was that first night's sleep? And then, like, how did it go?
Well, when I stayed for the It went okay because I actually landed in Vietnam in early morning, and so that person received me early in the morning, and so we
Mm-hmm.
got a whole day to
Oh.
talk about different things, and
Mm-hmm.
so we really got into each other, and uh, it's not that, and plus that person uh, had a big house, and so it's got multiple floors, and so she was the only person in that house. So I had a separate room to myself, and that was very cool. So you're completely safe and you're comfortable. I mean, she made me comfortable. We spent a whole day together, and so yeah, sleeping the first night was very comfortable for me.
So you had plenty of time to get to know her ahead of time. So, because I could see if
Yep,
you arrived somewhere and you went straight to their house to sleep or something, that probably might be a little
Oh
awkward.
yeah. I didn't think about that.
yep, yep. And particularly when your flight lands late at night and you are sleepy, but again, out of courtesy, you just don't ask them to provide you the bed, and so you talk to them. And the other person, because they are there to receive you, so they are very excited,
Yeah.
and so you have to make sure that you stay awake as long as they are awake.
Yeah.
Very cool. Is there anyone that you've like done this with that you've stayed with multiple times, or a place that you like have went and enjoyed the same person and became really good friends with them?
I became a friends with someone in Vietnam
Mm-hmm.
through couchsurfing,
Yeah.
but then we made a plan for Indonesia, where of course that person was from Vietnam and I'm from Pakistan, so we didn't have an accommodation in Indonesia. So we, split the cost to find our hotel in Indonesia. But that's how we became friends, and we got a chance to visit another country together.
That's cool. That is awesome.
So I want to go with the flip side of that. Have you ever stayed with anybody that you did not like
Or that you wouldn't stay with
and that you
again.
wouldn't stay with
Hmm.
again? Yeah.
Yes, yes. Sometimes people. You find people that you wouldn't like to meet again, and it's like, um, so I think that not every person is bad, and neither do they mean to be bad, but we all are different personalities, and so it's just practically not possible for you to get along with anyone, or everyone, I would say. So
Mm-hmm.
there are only a few kind of people that you can get along easily, but there are certain type of people who it really becomes difficult to stay for a long time together.
Yeah, that
So
makes
I have
sense.
had one such experience. Yeah.
Very cool.
So on
So,
this couch surfing app, I want to ask you real quick: are there any fees associated with this, or is the app completely free?
I wouldn't say it's a feast, but it's like you can make your profile.
Mm-hmm.
But one of the things that what couchsurfing does is that it associates a green color signal with your profile.
Uh huh.
So that is to say, if you have paid a certain amount, then what you're saying is that you are a verified person.
Gotcha.
Otherwise, you're not a verified person. You can still use the app. You can still do, but it's difficult for you to get references. And that I believe I think it's a good way to filter out the cheapsters. Because you're gonna find cheapsters everywhere.
Yeah.
hmm,
This application is no different.
So
nice.
if they're serious enough to pay a little bit of money, then
Yeah.
you're likely to meet a better quality person.
Yeah,
It make
exactly.
it makes me think of like a community pool. Like you're putting this money into a pool, and then it's almost like you're investing in getting to stay at someone else's place.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so we have got to pay for the person who built the app and also came up with this beautiful idea. You know?
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else do you like you give to the host? Do you like bring them anything as like a thank you or anything when you leave or
It's no compulsion, but generally in couchsurfing, it's considered ethical that when you come from your country to another country to meet your host, you bring along with from your country something for them, and it doesn't have to be expensive thing. It's just something which is unique to your country, so you bring it along with you and give it as a token of appreciation to your host.
Very nice.
oh.
So what do you bring?
Um, what I do is something what I like to receive from my traveler guests, and that is their currency, old currency. Uh, any small note that they use, or any small coin that they use, or any souvenir, or something which is unique. So in my country, for example, our truck arts are unique. So these are decoration pieces.
Okay.
Also, our spices are very famous, and also I can bring along some currency, some small notes or some coins to give it to them. People love them. It's not just about how expensive you got the gift. It's about what special thing you brought for them, something which they didn't have before.
Yeah.
And people really love that. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah. So I know that you said that like your family does not travel, they're not travelers. What do they think of like you choosing to use couch surfing? How do they feel? What do they say to you? Or do they know? Maybe this is when they find out.
Are they going to find out on this podcast?
I've told my parents about that.
Mhm.
Of course, there are always concerns because, again, you're going to another country to meet a stranger. And so, obviously, you do have your security concerns as well. And so, generally don't tend to disclose too much information to my parents because they would then get worried and they would ask me a zillion questions about my security, about who the other person is. But yeah, it is like that. It's not that I've completely hidden everything from them. I do tell them that there is an app, and I've tried to explain them the concept, but it's not like I tell them that this is what I utilize for
All your travel.
uh, 2 weeks of travel.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What would you say that you've like is, or if anything, have you learned about like people in general when traveling this way? Like, is there anything that you feel like you've learned that you wouldn't have learned if you just went and like stayed at a hotel or something like that?
It's that you have to be very open. At hotel, every staff is gonna be right after you. You know, you are the boss. But when you are at someone's place, you have really got to learn something about them. For example, the religion that they belong to, the community that they are part of. So, for example, in Malaysia, I went to someone's place, and I didn't know that we have to take off our shoes when we even go to the washroom. So this is something I wasn't aware of. And so I went into the washroom, and the other person was not happy with me.
Oh,
And similarly, yeah, I met someone. Uh, so in Thailand, the people are generally very what you call caring about insects and plants. So there was a mosquito which was constantly making sounds near on the dining table. And so I, being the smart person that I am, quickly got it, and so yeah, I just splashed my hand on it, and that lady, she started crying, and
oh,
I
yeah.
couldn't understand what happened, and then she cried with so force that and honestly, I couldn't understand what happened. Then after 10 minutes, while crying, she told me, "Who gave you the license to kill this?" I said, "Kill what?" She said, and she said, so you still don't know what you've done?" And I honestly couldn't believe and couldn't think of that she was talking about the mosquito. Then someone told me that she was talking about the mosquito. So
Wow.
Oh.
yeah.
That would definitely get me in trouble because I'm not a fan of mosquitoes.
Well, and
And but this thing was not part of couchsurfing. So I'm just saying in general
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you have to respect it.
because I feel like that's something like as a host, you have to recognize that like people who come to wherever you are not going to know your customs, and you have to have some type of grace for them, just like
Yeah.
they have to have grace for you,
Yeah.
right? You know.
Yeah,
Although,
because the host is already offering you so much. So the host, you can give some margin to the host that they don't know about your customs, but you have to respect their customs because you are taking um, their services. And
sure,
Yeah.
yeah, and that makes sense.
I didn't know that there was people out there that would cry over a mosquito getting killed. I never realized that.
Yeah, it's like a
Yeah,
different.
even I didn't knew. That
Yeah,
was a bummer.
I'm thinking about taking my shoes off in the
That's
bathroom.
what I was thinking. So you don't take your shoes off when you go in the house. It's only when you go in the bathroom?
No, I mean, in their house, so you take your shoes off.
Okay.
But I do not feel good when I have to go to washroom with my bare feet. So
Yeah.
that's when I took the shoes and put it on the washroom floor so
So
that I
you put
can
them back
use
on
them.
when you went in there.
Yep, yep.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm
That
with you.
makes sense. Yeah. That's so cool. Like all the little things you get to learn like that, that like if you just stayed at a hotel and did touristy
Yeah.
things, you would never know. You'd never know that.
And there is another thing
Hmm.
that I would like to tell you guys about, and that is that so you have to be very respectful of your host. And so I can tell you an incident. What happened was that I had a host who asked me, what do I want to eat? Because I was taking an early flight in the early morning. And so that person said that since you're coming for breakfast at that time, so what would you like to eat for breakfast? And obviously, because I was the guest, so I didn't want to say, oh, make me this or make me that. I said, whatever you have at your whatever is that you're gonna eat, I'll eat with you. And so that person asked me again, no, no, you are the guest, you tell me. I said, no, I don't want to say anything. I'm entering your country, so you just come up with whatever you have. And so that person, I went to his place and he offered me boiled rice with banana. I mean, I have never had boiled rice for breakfast. I mean, I cannot have them. Uh, it's just something which I cannot digest, at least for breakfast.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
that person, and they told me that this is what they have in their community.
That is
Oh. So
interesting.
did it like upset your stomach then?
No, it didn't, but I had to forcefully eat that.
Oh.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
So is the
yeah.
rice
So
actually
that was
hot?
very interesting.
Is it actually hot?
No, no,
Okay.
nope, nope. It was kind of very bland, dry, no spices, nothing, and the only thing that they had with it was banana. Uh,
Interesting.
it's kind of a combination that I never had, and
Yeah.
in a realistic world, I wouldn't want to have that again.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Interest. I want to try this.
See, but that's the cool part of it
This
is
is
yeah, you
so.
get to be involved in other people's culture and you get exposed to things that you would never be exposed to otherwise.
Yeah, and is it generally like you're staying with one person, or is it, do you ever stay with like a family? Like I'm wondering what the dynamics would be if like you go and stay with like a husband and wife and
Yeah,
child or
that's a good
something.
question.
so there are lots of people. There are lots of couples who are hosting, and there are single people as well. I, for one, have interestingly always stayed with a single guy or girl,
Hmm.
but always single. Yeah, and never been in a family system.
Hmm. I think that'd be an interesting dynamic.
Are there any cultural boundaries to staying with a single female?
It depends on the country and depends on the custom.
Yeah.
So if you were gonna try to do
We
that,
cannot generalize.
you would just ask. You would just say like ahead of time, like, "Hey, what respectfully do you need me to do in order to stay here with you?"
Are there like restrictions? Can you say I would like to stay with a male, or can they say I would like to only have females come stay with me? Can you generalize that on the app, or is it just kind of you take them as they come?
You can do that, but also, so for example, let's say you're in US and you want to go to London, and so you're gonna search for London on the app, and you're gonna get a list of all the females and males who are hosting,
Hmm.
and so you can put up a filter there to say only males or only
Mm,
females, whatever it
Gotcha.
is.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
that makes
And
sense.
then you can also put up your plan. What are the dates that you are going to, maybe someone is going to ask you, maybe someone wants to host you. So they send the request first to you that, hey, you can stay with us. Or if someone doesn't, then you may be the first person to ask them, hey, can I? So you can just click on that person's profile, whoever you would like to stay with, and just ask them.
That's cool.
Do people generally like take off work for this? So like if I was going to do this and let someone come stay with me, would I like take the days that they were coming off in order to like spend time with them? Or would I continue to like work?
Oh, that's another good question.
Yep. I, for one, have always. So I uh, make my plan that whenever I go to another country, I tend to take a flight on Friday so that I can get a weekend, and there is very good possibility that the person is also free. And I beforehand asked them about their plans because uh, I never stay with one person for a long time for more than a day or so. But because I'm staying there for a day, so I try to make sure that I get the maximum time of that person. Your first day, whenever you land into another country, is very important. That's when you learn from that person where do you get money exchange from, or what is the best sim that you can get, or what are the prices of different commodities, or what is the best place for you to get accommodation for hotels or anything, or what are the best hotels, or what about traveling? I mean, internal traveling. What is the best? Where can I get the train or bus? So your first day is very important, and it's recommended that you try to, in advance, talk to someone to be able to spend a lot of time with you on the first day. That is very important.
Do you couch surf for more than 1 week at a time, or like would you stay with 5 different people for a week, or would you like maybe couch surf the first day or two and then stay in a hotel, or like do you mix it up, or what? How does it normally go?
So, if, for example, if I'm going there for like 2 weeks, then my uh, the best thing for me would be to live at 10 different places. So 10
Wow.
different couch surfers.
Okay.
But it's not always possible. It doesn't necessarily mean that if you ask 10 people, they're going to respond to you in the positive and say, hey, yeah, we are welcome. There will be people who will say, no, we are busy, or they just simply don't want to accept you. So it's not that you always get guest hosts very easily, but it's like I, for one, uh, think that I shouldn't be a burden on anyone. So I
Yeah.
strictly keep it to 1 day at someone's place, even if they may be saying that they can still accommodate me, but no, I just don't like that.
So do you ever have anybody that flakes out? So like you make travel plans, you
Get
set
it.
up your itinerary, and you show up and the person's not home, or they forgot that you were coming, or do you ever have that happen?
No, luckily I never have that happen.
Good.
In fact, I talk to those people to request them. You can always request. You cannot assert yourself, but I say that I'll be coming at this time, and so you better. Uh, Not you better. It's a request. Like, can you uh, pick me from the airport? Because your number one cost when you land at the other country is going to be your SIM. Because if you buy that from airport mobile SIM, it's going to be 3 times more expensive than what you're going to get in the normal market. And plus, it's always a rip off the taxi at the airport. It's always a rip off.
So
So
when,
it's ideal that you talk to your couchsurfer, your host, that hey, can you just receive me? It's important that they may not offer you accommodation for the night, but it's really important for you to get those first 2 3 hours so that someone can pick you from airport and just explain you the dynamics of the city that you're going to. That is the most important thing for me.
okay.
Shelter you can always get.
So when you say SIM, do you mean like a SIM for your phone, or what do you mean by that?
Yeah, yeah, mobile SIM.
So like a SIM card. Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you don't always get service everywhere. So how would you contact them if you're not able to get that?
Yeah,
Especially through an app. That's going to be harder than like text messaging.
yeah.
Do you like video chat with them on the app? Can you see their face and like do a video?
No, it doesn't offer you that.
Okay.
Do you use WhatsApp
It's
or
a,
anything like that to talk with them?
it depends on how much trust the other person has in you, because obviously, uh, chat on that application is not very convenient. WhatsApp is the most convenient thing. So it really depends on. Yes, I've built so many contacts on WhatsApp.
Because I was thinking that would create a higher comfort level if you actually got to see somebody's face and, okay, this person is real. I know what
Yeah.
they look like and spend a little time talking with them. I thought that might create a higher comfort level when you landed, you know?
Yep. This is what people do. They ask you, so if they're really serious in hosting you, obviously they've got to make sure that they are having someone who they can trust, and that obviously the other person is a stranger. So not everyone, but I've seen people who ask you for your real picture, and some of them they ask you for a video call just to confirm that they know who the person is coming. Yeah.
Wow. You know, one thing that I always have thought was cool, especially like just with this podcast and learning about travel, is how cool it would be to have friends in every area of
Yeah.
the world. And I feel like through this service, you could really build that. You could
Yeah.
build a, gallery of friends and friendships that you could just have. So if you're like, hey, today I feel like really going to like Australia, you're like, oh, I got a dude there,
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're gathering like a world full of friends?
Exactly. That's what I told you, that I made a plan with my first host in Vietnam. I made a plan with them to go to Indonesia together. So we went there to Indonesia. So that's how you build your friendships. And also, for example, if you're hosting someone, and let's say someone is coming from Belgium to your country, and you're hosting that person, in in the process of hosting that person, you already have a house, you already have a room, so there is nothing to lose. You can offer that place to your person. But in a nutshell, what you have done is that you have built a friendship in Belgium, or you have built a contact in Belgium, so that once you go there in Belgium, you know who you can rely on.
Yes. I
And
love that.
yeah, and people, they remember your services.
I bet. Yeah. So, hey, how many
Yeah.
people have you hosted on your end?
To be honest, I have hosted only 3 people,
Okay.
but and it's because my house is not very spacious,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of difficult for me to host people. But certainly, what I do is that I do offer um, the travelers a chance. I do offer them the best food, and I offer them my time, and I can make plan for them that, and then I can guide them in the city. But I also offer you the best food that I can offer from my city, and also advise them on what they can do and what they cannot do in the city, and where they can go, and help them uh, travel in my country. But yes, it's not always possible for me to really offer them an accommodation.
Yeah.
He's got the best food. You ready to go?
I know, right?
So one thing that when you were just talking about like how you're not really losing anything letting someone come, but yet
Hmm.
if you think about it, you're really gaining something by, having somewhere else. It makes me think of like Airbnb, which I don't know how familiar you are with that, but like how a lot of people will like literally rent out a room for $100, and then there's a fee that goes to the Airbnb. There's a fee that goes to like cleaning and all these things. And I'm thinking about like how different these ideas are.
Yeah.
The idea that I need to make money when someone comes, or the idea that like I'm gaining, I'm not losing anything when they come, and I'm actually gaining something when they come. It's, I don't know.
Yeah, definitely. Um, but there are certain apps
Hmm.
that you can use to actually make money as well from there. So, for example, there's an app called Localite, in which you can say that um, if you come to my country, I can make a plan for you, take you here. You can give up an itinerary and say, this is my plan and this is my rate. For example, let's say $10 an hour.
Hmm.
And so if you're interested in that, I can give you my time. And so you can, if you want to earn something from this, then you can also use this kind of apps where you can offer your time and your plan and uh, whatever you want to offer, and say, this is my rate, for this is an hourly rate, or you can also do it for free. So there is no real compulsion to always put up a rate on yourself. You can
Yeah.
do it for free as well.
So, and this is called Localite, and it's Localite, right?
Correct. Correct.
Local light. That's cool. So you would just take them around your city or around where you're from and show them things and then they wouldn't stay
Yep.
with you necessarily.
Yep. Yep.
I want to do that.
I'm set up a profile tonight.
Yes. That is so cool.
I can't
would
really
love
host
to do
people at
that.
my house, but I could definitely take people for tours, and I've definitely know a lot about the city that I live in, so I could show you some cool stuff.
Yep.
That would be so
Yep.
fun.
Yep.
Huh. Do you know any other apps? I mean, I feel like you're just full of all the good travel
Right.
apps. Are there any other travel apps that you know about?
Oh yeah. There's one app which is called World Packer,
Okay.
World Packer?
and yep, correct. And in this app, what you do is that, for example, I'm from Pakistan, and I speak Urdu language. Okay, so
Oh.
that's my specialty. That's my expertise.
Mhm.
And so maybe there is a guy in another Asian country or in Europe who wants to come to my country and say that he would like to learn Urdu from me. So what I can say is that I would look at his skill set on his profile, what he has, and if there is something that I want to learn from him, then what in this app what I can do is I can offer that person that, hey, can you stay with me, and I would learn this particular skill that you have listed in your profile, and you can actually make use of the skills that I have. You can look around my skills, and I can teach you one of those if you want. And in the process, you can stay at my place for free. So it's more like a similar concept to couchsurfing, but it's more than that. You can actually exchange your skills. Yeah,
That's very cool. I like that a lot.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I want to go out
that
and
would-
see what people's skills are.
You going to teach people therapy?
I was going to say, I don't know what my skill is. I need to, I need to, talking?
You could do therapy. You could do free therapy for people.
Free
That-
therapy?
That would be valuable.
Oh, is that ethical? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
Check your local laws.
right. That is so cool. It's like pimping yourself out, right?
Well, you get something in
you can
return.
Yeah.
you can take it offline. I mean, you can take it offline with them. This is another skill set that I have, and that is something I can offer.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that.
That is awesome. So do you like doing this couch surfing, do you feel like you have been able to travel more, I'm assuming, than what you could have before as far as like financially? And then like what kind of time off do you get to do this travel?
It's got to save you quite a bit.
Yeah.
Well, I generally travel twice a year, and it's like I have like 30 official holidays. So it's not like I get them on a particular time for a fixed month. These are the general sick leaves and all those. These I never take them. So I always make sure that for first 6 months I never take a day off, and then I accumulate my holidays and then take a trip to one of the countries every 6 months.
That's
Very cool. I have noticed that like you definitely need more than like a week to be somewhere and really
Yeah.
enjoy it. And I could imagine going to a whole new country, you really need like a lot of time
Yeah.
to immerse yourself. For sure.
Yeah, and that's where these applications like couchsurfing, Worldpacker, they come in very handy. So you don't get to spend on your lodging and food. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, because I feel like lodging's like 80% of a trip.
That's a lot of
most
it,
of the
yeah.
time. You know?
Food's
like,
a lot too, for that matter.
Right. That's truth.
Yep.
I hear that.
So, do you have a favorite country?
Yes. My favorite country is Vietnam. I have been to that country like 4 times. That's how much I love that country. And so generally, what I had thought was that if I go over to one country, then I wouldn't go to that country again. And I would rather choose a different one.
Yeah.
But Vietnam is so huge and so majestic. It's north, it's east, it's south, it's west, it's everything. Every province is different, and they have different customs, and I just absolutely love this. So I went there like 4 times.
So you love it for the
Wow.
people, you love it for the scenery. What makes it your favorite place?
Well, it's a combination of all.
Okay.
People, Vietnam, just like Thailand, these countries are called the land of smiles.
Nice.
Everyone is smiling.
Nice.
Very nice people, beautiful people. But it's the life that I saw in Vietnam which impressed me the most. I mean, you go to their major cities like Hanoi or Ho Chi Minh,
Mm-hmm.
they are no less different than any major city in the world. But if you go into their rural life, you will notice that it's one of those countries where bartering system is still prevalent. I mean,
Oh.
you have boats in the Mekong Delta in Vietnam. Uh, families are residing in those boats, and they have something. For example, they have fish, and then there is another boat in which there is another family, and that family is carrying fruits. And so these two boats would meet on the river and exchange things with them. So one family would give them fish, the other would give them fruits, and that's how they barter. And so this is something I absolutely loved about Vietnam. Uh, I had heard about this bartering system from ages ago. Like this used to happen, but
Yeah.
I actually saw that happen in even today. So that's one of the very beautiful things of Vietnam.
That's a beautiful system. Yeah, I like that. That you don't have to have money. You don't have to bring money in the equation.
Yeah.
I have this to share. You have that to share.
I have this
Yeah,
service.
Let's
yeah,
help
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah. Do
yeah.
you think that you'll ever move there since you love it so much?
Um, I actually want to.
Mm-hmm.
What I do see is that that country has. I foresee it has a very good scope in terms of the infrastructure that is being set up in that country, the potential of tourism there. And you see, it's one of those countries who have dealt with COVID 19 very well. I mean, there has been no reported death in Vietnam, even though this sit just so close to China.
Yeah.
And so it's a country headed in the right direction. If you look at the infrastructure being set up, the investments being done, so
Mm-hmm.
certainly I see a good scope in that country. I love that country, but yeah, I cannot say something in the affirmative. It's a very big ask to say, would you settle into a different country? But I certainly do see a potential there, and if I get a chance, I would definitely do.
Very cool. Very cool. Why do you think it's important for people to travel? Like in general, why do you think that people should get out there and try it, even if it's not through couch surfing?
Yeah.
Well, I think that our lives become so monotonous, and it becomes very toxic when we go to the same job every day, and or we are into the same business looking at the same chores every day. And you start to culminate the toxicity in your body, and that is something that you need to get rid of. And traveling provides you that option. If you, for example, if you say, I'm going to travel every 6 months, then every time you complete a travel, the next 6 months are coming up, so you have something to look up to. So
Yeah.
the 6 months will pass very fast, and also that will provide you with the chance to, once you go to travel, you stop thinking about your normal chores of office or business. You just focus on your travel, and that for me is something very important. I think we all need that. We all
Mm-hmm.
need to remove the toxic uh, substance which is culminating in our bodies because of our monotonous lives.
I could not agree more with that. I know that one of my goals is to be able to take like 2 week trip every 3 to 4 months. That's kind of one of my goals. But like here, we don't really get that opportunity generally very often.
I,
But
I call that
Yeah,
the light at the end of the tunnel. That's
yeah,
what I call that.
yeah,
You got to have a
right.
light at the end of the tunnel. Otherwise, yeah, life gets real monotonous.
Yes, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah.
Actually,
And I
Jason,
actually
go ahead.
thought the same way as you guys are thinking. But it's just about the first time you take that leap of faith and you actually make a trip. It's just about that one time. Once you do that, you will get a knack of traveling, and then there is no stopping you.
Yeah.
Once you really make that trip and you feel that thing about travel, uh, nothing can stop you from traveling again. I mean,
Yeah.
I can assure you of that.
Well, I was thinking about you saying, the toxic buildup too, and I think that everybody is getting toxic buildup right now because they are stuck at home with the COVID-19 and the lockdowns and not being able to leave your house and stuff. And I think that's something that everybody travels with right now. And I think that's the other part of the problem is that there's no light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, we don't know. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't know
But
when this
there
is going
are
to be over. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No problem. Please go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, you just don't know when this is going to be over. You know, you don't know when you're going to be out of this, and you don't know when you're going to be able to do something to relieve that toxic buildup in your body, you know.
True.
Yeah. But there are countries that have shown us, that have become examples for us that this is something which really can be controlled. So if there are countries that are literally next to China, if they can contain the virus and they can report no death, then certainly this is something which can stop. And even in Europe, what they do is currently 3 or 4 countries, for example, Germany, Poland, and Hungary, they've decided to, or in Portugal, they have decided to open up their borders for themselves. So gradually, I think this is opening up. Vietnam has lifted all the restrictions. So has Taiwan. So it's improving. I do believe we are coming to that part of our lives where we are going to start to have to live with COVID-19, because clearly there is no. So even the best of the best organizations are saying it's going to take a year for them to develop vaccines.
Yeah.
So I think we have to really move to a stage where we say that we should learn to live with this. There have been viruses for which you haven't gotten a vaccine yet. So this is also one of them. More fatal, but we have certainly got to live with it. And I think it would become normal.
Yeah, I definitely could see that being a thing. And I think too, like, part of relieving that buildup is like when you go somewhere else and you experience something else, you realize that your world that you've been living in, so like your home, your job, your commute, is not the world.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because like you can think about how stressed you are about your job or your home life or like whatever it might be, your commute, and it just like fills you. But once you realize that that's not what the world is and that there are lots of other things out there, and like maybe some people are experiencing other things that might be more or less stressful, then like I think it helps relieve what you have inside, you know, like I think that's what's powerful. And I think the cool thing right now is like through social media, we can kind of do that. And through like podcasts and listening about different cultures and learning different things, even though we can't go anywhere, we can kind of start to see, you know, that we're not the world, especially here in America.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what we do is we just think that America's the thing and our lives are just so big and they're actually so small, you know? So I think that through that we can get through it without losing it.
Yeah, definitely. But again, like I said, that we have seen examples where countries have pulled this off and they say they have contained it. And so I certainly believe that America is going to be no different. Yes, it has been the worst victim of that, but ultimately I do believe that this is going to finish and we're going to be back for traveling again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Jason, you want to go stay with Saqib?
Right.
Eat that good food tomorrow?
I'm down. Tomorrow. You ready to go?
You got
hop on a plane tomorrow?
You got space open this weekend?
You guys are most welcome at my place. You guys
kidding.
are most welcome at my place. I'll make special exception for you guys, even though I generally don't have much space to host people, but for you I can make an exception.
We can sleep on the patio or something.
No,
I'm just pulling your
I'll give
chain.
my own room to you guys.
Oh,
I slept outside.
no
I sleep
way.
outside.
Yes, that's so funny.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, I think we're on to the wrap-up part, right? So we're going to move on to our segments, and our first segment is the Don't Do That. And the Don't Do That is a travel mistake that you have made somewhere along the way that our listeners could benefit from and hopefully not do themselves.
Okay. So one of the mistakes that I did was that
You smacked a mosquito?
Uh, but that was not the individual traveling. That was just like an official meeting, and so I was,
Sure.
I made a mistake. Yeah, that is a mistake. You have to understand the custom of people. But also, there is one mistake that I did was that I studied about Indonesia, that you can easily get um, taxis from the airport, and so I that's what I did. I entered after leaving the airport. I got a taxi, and so I asked the person that I want to go there. I had a place in mind, and I said I want to go there, and so that person said, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna take you there." But what I didn't notice was that he had already uh, put some rating on the meter. It was a meter
Oh,
taxi, and the meter started already at 500. And then, so my bill was 500 plus whatever it would take me to reach my place. So 500 he already put there, which he shouldn't have, because by law, what they do is they're only supposed to put 20k Indian rupees, Indonesian rupees as a head start. But he did that like 500k,
wow.
and it was a complete rip off for me. And then what happens is that when you get a taxi, these taxi people, you always have a language barrier with them.
Hmm.
They don't understand what you're talking about, and so you also they know that you are first time here, because that's why you're making the stupid mistake. So uh, yeah, and
Yeah.
so so the one thing that I would say to my fellow travelers would be that try that when you go to another country and when you are solo traveling, try to make a friend beforehand, and just try to make sure that that person gets to receive you at the airport. Or if that is not possible, then uh, try to get internet somehow, maybe use airport's internet, and try to use official apps the like Grab or like Uber, those kind of applications, so that you just don't get the taxis from the other vendors
Yeah,
who are not, yeah,
That makes
not
sense.
authorized to.
that's a
Meter
good.
taxi in countries is very difficult to, check. You have to be very cautious about how they're operating it.
That's a good tip for sure.
I love it.
Yeah.
All right. Our next segment is today's hidden gem. And today's hidden gem is a place that you have been that is off the beaten path that our listeners can go and check out the next time they are in that area.
Okay. Uh, that I would refer to a place in Indonesia, Bali in particular.
Bali.
Um, s- yeah. So basically, whenever people go to Bali, and even if you Google about Bali, there are only a limited number of places that internet refers to, and even if you go to those places will be so crowded, and those places are Kuta, Seminyak, or Bali, oh sorry, Ubud. So these are the places that internet mentions, and every crowd is there. But what people do not know is that Bali is such a huge island that it's going to take you forever to completely, go to all the parts of Bali. And what people do not notice is that hardly from a 2 hour scooter drive from the mainland, from main cities, you can go to a place where you will have a beach to yourself. So
Mm.
you are the only person who's going to be there, and you're going to see a beach to all. There are so many beaches there. Also, so one of the places that I went in similar expedition was called Bonnet Bulung. It's a remote place. Remote, I wouldn't say it's just like 2 hours from the mainland, but because it's not uh, referenced in Google or on internet, and so people don't go there. And that was the best part of my Indonesia trip. I mean, I saw a place which was like, you're gonna see people there who look so remote, like they don't even have clothes to cover themselves. So they're like covering themselves from um, I don't know what kind of thing, and they were playing with fire. So
Wow.
it's like as if you're watching an old movie, and really looking at people who belong to some remote society.
Interesting.
So
That's so cool.
yeah,
How do you
so
spell
Bonnet
that?
Belong is the place.
Bonnet Ballon?
Yeah, so it spells like Bonut,
Okay.
and then there is Bolong.
Bonnet
Bonnet
Ballon.
Ballon. Okay.
Hmm.
I like
That
that
would
one.
be awesome.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love the idea of like being on a beach
Yeah.
by myself and like that'd be awesome.
Nicole likes private beaches.
I do. I've been to so many, you
Yeah.
know. No, yeah, we've heard a lot about Bali. I haven't been there, but I haven't heard that there's like private places like that. I've heard it's pretty packed.
Yeah.
So that's a good tip. Thanks
Yeah,
for that
Yes.
one.
Excellent tip.
Yeah.
And another thing about Bali, as compared to other Southeast Asian countries, is that the color of the water is so clean and it's so blue and green.
Hmm.
It just looks so beautiful. No contamination, nothing, just very beautiful. Pure blue and pure green, and it's a mixture. Sometimes it's a mixture of both. And then, what can be more better than for you to see or to have a view of this kind of water, and that you are alone there? And this
Yep.
is a reality in Bali because there are so many beaches there which haven't been tapped yet. People don't go there because people just go to the places what Google tells.
Yeah.
And the costs are low, right?
Definitely. Or there's nothing to buy there. You are the only one there, so
Right.
there's no market or anything. But so it should be a good one-day trip for you, and then you can come back to the mainland and stay there. But you can also do your camping or those kind of things. Yeah. Or you can take your food.
Yeah.
Scooters in Bali are so cheap, so you can rent a scooter for like $5 for a whole day,
Wow.
Nice.
and you just gonna fill your petrol fuel for like $2.50.
Hmm.
So in $7.50, you're good for the day.
Nice.
You can go anywhere in Bali.
That's fantastic.
I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bonnet. That's on bonnet. I got that in my head now. That's on our bucket list to go to Bali.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So we'll have to for
that
sure.
would be the best thing that you can do.
Everybody that
But
we
also,
talk to.
I would say also get a chance to go to Vietnam. It's majestic there.
Yes.
All right, we added it to the list.
Right. Yeah. We're gonna have a long list soon.
Yeah.
So, if people want to find out more about you, or they have questions about couch surfing, or anything like that, or they want to learn more about you, where can they go?
They can go to my Instagram. I can drop my Instagram link on the podcast, and
Yeah.
they can also review my couchsurfing profile, which I can leave a link here. And I'm also writing my personal blog. It's in the process. It's like a month away from completion, I believe.
Okay.
I'm most
Awesome.
probably I'll be done with that in a month or so, and then I'll put it live and drop a link here.
Perfect.
Perfect. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
So we'll get those links from you, and we'll put them at the notes at the bottom of the show. So if you'd like to go check those links out, you can do that. And if you want to pass along your blog to us later on, we can also link that to this show as well.
Yeah, and you guys can check it out.
Yeah.
Sure, I'll share that with you. Definitely, I would love to actually.
Fantastic.
I know I've learned a lot in this episode.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure our listeners have really learned a lot. So thank you for sharing all that with us. It's such good information. I can't wait to try it.
This is one of the most informative episodes we've had in quite a while.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Thank you so much for having me.
We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I'm privileged to have you.
Absolutely.
To
Yeah.
have you have called me here. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Thank you so much for coming on, my friend.
All right.
We will have you on soon.
no problem.
After you do a little bit more traveling, let us know, and we'll have you on, and we can talk more.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Sure. We'll get in touch.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. Bye.
Yeah.
Don't.
Bye-bye.
All right, guys. That was our friend Saqib. What? What are you laughing at? Are you laughing at how I pronounce the name? Yeah, it's Saqib, right? Am I saying it wrong? I think Nicole's got the giggles. What seems to be the problem, young lady? Oh my gosh. Oh, she's got to turn her mic off. This is how bad this got.
Okay.
What are you laughing at?
I'm back.
Are you over there crying? Did I mess the name up that bad?
No, it was
Not
perfect.
that bad, is it?
No, it was good.
It's Saqib, right?
I'm back.
Saqib Naveed.
Hey guys. That was an excellent episode.
Are you laughing at my pronunciation?
No, I was laughing at all the pronunciations.
All the pronunciations.
Yeah.
Are there other pronunciations that were wrong?
Yes.
Are there?
In the beginning, in the middle.
No.
It's fine.
It's not Saqib, it's Saqib.
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 Naveed.
Naveed. We weren't screwing up the last name. We're only screwing up his first name.
Yeah. Don't you kind of want to know how other people would say your name wrong?
Jason.
Others are like Nick Chol.
Nichol.
Nichol.
Oh, we are live on our show with Nichol.
Jasab.
Jason.
Jason.
Mine's pretty
Croissant.
basic, I think.
Like a croissant.
Don't you say J's different in Spanish?
Oh, yeah. It's like,
Hey, son.
Oh,
Hey, son.
hey, son.
We are live with Hey, son.
I
How
love
are you
it.
today, Hey, son?
I love how things, it's just my favorite.
All right.
Yeah. That was excellent.
Now we're wrapping up our show. We appreciate everybody for listening. I'm sure we have new downloads, but I have not checked lately. But if you are a new listener, thank you for coming on and checking us out.
Yeah, we've got lots of new followers too. So
Yes. Yeah, lots and lots of new followers, actually. Like 1,500 new followers or something.
you know, I think maybe next episode we should do like a shout out of a certain number of followers or something. Want to do that?
Actually, we had a new follower that I am going to shout out real quick. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves while I find this.
Yeah. Talk so much. I'm so excited to check out this bonnet. Now, this is another thing I'm going to mess up. Bonnet Belong.
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 Bonnet Belong.
If anybody's been to Bonnet Belong and you guys have pictures of it, email us at nomadictravelerpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
Because I want to see that. Belong. Bonnet. Who you want to shout out?
I think we've picked up so many new followers that the person that I wanted to shout out has been pushed off of the page.
Oh, is it a certain person?
Yeah.
Just pick like 5 people. Shout them out.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we have 1,850 followers now.
Yeah, shout them out.
Here we go. Okay. Here is the guy that I wanted to shout out. I love your name.
Drum roll.
It is The Extraordinary Adventures of Quince and Gary.
Yes! If you are out there, email us.
I love your name. It's cool.
We want to know more about your name. Where
So,
did it come from?
Yeah.
What is it?
Hit us up at nomadictravelerpodcast@gmail.com.
Yes.
That is a fantastic name.
Okay, go ahead and read off like 4 more.
So 4 more?
Yeah.
Okay.
We got to give people love.
A Crime and a Dime. That's another interesting one. Building a Skate Park.
Yes.
Tweens Perspective. Absolutely trashed. Wow, I didn't realize everybody had such good names.
I know.
Dr. Sandy.
Ooh.
And the last but not least, Nobody's Clapping.
Nobody's clapping at my laughing. Yes.
I
no.
like that one.
I love it. Thank you guys for following us and,
Yes.
and hitting us up. Yeah. Send us an email.
Yeah, we super appreciate all the followers because our followers have blown up.
Yeah.
So it's literally gone up like by spades in the last couple months.
And I'm so excited for our next 2 guests. I think they are going to be amazing.
We've been working on some good people, yeah. So we got a couple good people coming up.
Should we give them a tease or no?
What is the guy's name from Oman? I can't think
Luke.
of his name now. Luke. Mm-hmm. We got a really cool guy named Luke that's coming up. That's
Amazing.
Yeah, he's just amazing.
I don't think we can't give it to him though.
We can't. Yeah, we don't want to give away too much yet.
Yeah.
But he's coming up and he's going to be fantastic. So check out Luke from Oman. He's coming up.
Oman.
Saqib from Pakistan today. He was fantastic. So
Yes.
we're starting to get more people from around the world. So we're trying to do that purposely to get more of a flavor that's not just U.S.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
we love all of our international friends.
And we're learning new ways to travel. I'm gonna go stay on someone's couch. I don't know where because it's Corona, but
This is going to be like the same type of thing as like putting Nicole on a plane. We're just going to blindfold her, and then she's just going to wake up on somebody's couch.
yes,
And then she's got a radio about it. So you have to make a podcast about it.
I could do that. I'd be down. So it's a solo travel on a plane.
Solo travel.
Sleep on
a
someone's
plane,
couch.
Sleep on a couch in Pakistan.
That could be, whoa. That could be 3 stones at once. Bam.
That would be fantastic.
Wait, is it 3 stones? 3 birds.
3 birds. Yeah, killing 3 birds at the same time. Yeah, something like that.
No. All right. That was a good episode. Loved it. Check us out, guys.
I love everybody's names. They're fantastic.
Do you need to read some more?
Your creative names are fantastic, though.
I
love
think
how creative everybody is.
Every episode, maybe we should like shout out a few.
We'll find it. Yeah, we'll find a couple more. Maybe we'll start doing that as like a little wrap-up segment.
Yeah.
We'll do shout-outs to new download locations and shout-outs to new followers.
Yes.
So, but I think the only way we can see these is if you follow us on your Podbean account. So if you do not have a Podbean account or you're listening to us through Apple Podcasts or something like that, I don't think that we can see you otherwise unless you follow us on Podbean.
Yeah.
So if you want a shout out, get on the Podbean app, download us there.
Yep. Or find us on Facebook and send us a message.
Or send us a message on Facebook. Yeah, and we'll shout out your Facebook name.
Yeah. Ooh, I hope somebody has a fun Facebook name too.
Right.
Like, Bethany, it's my way or the highway Jones. I don't know, I made that up.
Wow.
You know that people
Nicole
have
is loopy. Please forgive her. I think she's had too much coffee.
that. At midnight. All right.
All right. That's all we got right now. We'll see you next week.